Hello dear students, we are still on the classification of kingdom Animalia. The classes of Phylum Chordata is what we are going to deal with, but under the subphylum Vertebrata. This kingdom Animalia is divided into different phyla, and the phyla Chordata is divided into three subphylums: the subphylum Vertebrata, the subphylum Chordata, and the subphylum Cephalochordata. All these we deal with them in the later chapters, but we are now going to deal with the subphylum Vertebrata. This subphylum contains organisms that we call vertebrates, and these vertebrates are divided into divided into 5 classes. These 5 classes are, we have the class Prices. Here example is fishes. These are actual fishes. We have the amphibians, like frogs, okay? Frogs, toads. These are examples. We have like another class, reptilia. We have also an example of snakes, an example like snakes. We have the 4th class, which is aves. These are birds, examples like we can have like domestic birds, okay? And the last class is the class of Mammalia. We have an example like goats, human being, and so on. An example, human being. So, dear students, all these classes are under this subphylum Vertebrata, under the phylum Chordata, and they are all animals. All these animals, we saw their characteristics. We saw that these organisms in the subphylum Vertebrata, sometimes they have scales, they have the backbone, and we are going now to see class by class, starting from the Prices, okay? Starting from the Prices, or fishes. We are going to see first of all their characteristics. Without going far, you all know the first characteristic of all fishes is that they live in the aquatic environment, okay? They live in aquatic environment. They live in water bodies, in oceans, seas, and lakes, without forgetting rivers. The second characteristics of these organisms under the class of fishes is that they are cold-blooded. When we say cold-blooded, it's not that they have cold blood. Instead, these organisms they cannot regulate their own internal body temperature. Okay, so we call them cold-blooded, or in other terms, we might say they are ectothermic. Ectothermic. While organisms which can control their own internal body temperature are endothermic or homothermic, or hot-blooded, warm-blooded. We also have the third characteristic. They use gills for gaseous exchange, and sometimes there are some other fishes that use the lungs, but the common characteristic for almost all fishes is that they use gills, except some lung fishes. These organisms also, they lay eggs in water, which are later get fertilized. This implies that they use external fertilization. Okay? They have fins which aids in swimming. They have fins which aids them, which helps them to swim. They also have, these organisms have scales. The scales are usually pointed backward so that they help in free flowing in water. These organisms also have an circulatory system which is single, which means blood passes once in the heart for the complete circulation. So we say they have single circuit circulatory system. They have single circulatory system. There are a lot of different characteristics for these organisms under the class of Parasites, and under them they can be divided under two different groups. Can be subdivided into two groups, which are the bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. Dear students, all we are doing right now is just classifying, okay? We started from the kingdom Animalia. We divided it into different subphyla. Phylum. Under phylum, we divided it into subphyla. Under subphyla, we had classes. And under this class of fishes, we have two other groups, which are bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. Now, what's the difference between the two? we can have them under this table-like comparison: bone fishes and cartilaginous fishes. The bone fishes usually live in fresh water and sometimes in marine water, while the cartilaginous fishes always live in salty marine water. Like in oceans and seas. The second difference between the two is that the bone fishes have an endoskeleton made of bones, while the cartilaginous fishes have the endoskeleton made of cartilage. Yes. The bone fishes have an endoskeleton which is made up of bones. That's where it gets its name. While the cartilaginous fishes have an endoskeleton which is made up of cartilage. And the third characteristic of them is that here they have five to seven gill slits. Okay. They have 5 to 7 gill slits, while here the body is just covered by the placoid scales. So, dear students, this is it for the two subgroups. Okay, actually there are subgroups of the class fishes. We can have bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes, and we saw the differences between them. And the key difference, the main difference, is that the bone fishes have an endoskeleton which is made up of bones, while the cartilaginous fishes have the endoskeleton which is made up of cartilage. And to end this, to summarize this one, we can give examples. Here we can have, under the cartilaginous fishes, there are some fishes that live in the oceans and seas which are called the sharks. An example here, it's like, for example, in our country we cannot have sharks because we don't have the marine water bodies. We don't have the seas and oceans. While in our country we can have found a lot of fishes that are called tilapia. Okay. Example here are tilapia. Tilapia are bony fishes, and we find a lot of them in our country because we have the fresh water bodies. Okay. Now we are going to see the adaptations of fishes to their environment. The adaptation of fishes to their environment. How do the fishes adapt? How do they live in harsh conditions in water all their lives? They have key features which help them adapt in the water environment. The first of all, they have the structure of their body. The fishes have a streamlined body. They have streamlined body. Which floats easily, which flows easily in water. The second adaptation of fishes is that they have their heart pumps the blood in all muscles to stay active. The fishes are usually almost always moving, so all their muscles needs energy. And the third characteristic, they have fins and tail, which they use while moving. Fins and tail, which are used to push water for moving. Moving in water is not that easy like moving in air, so they need to use their fins and tail for beating water, for pushing water for the fish to pass through. Another characteristic, another adaptation of fishes is that all the fishes, all of them have the scales which points backward. Scales which points they have the scales which points backward. They also have the gears which they use for gaseous exchange. Speaking all these adaptations, but we cannot forget the characteristics of all chordata. The vertebral column, they have the flexible vertebral column, which helps while swimming. Okay, so dear students, of all these characteristics, all these adapting feathers of the fishes, there are so many. They have streamlined body, we said it. They also have, cannot forget the lateral lines, used for sensing. The fish can sense something in kilometers away using these lateral lines. So dear students, we are ending about the fish here, and I hope this session was enjoyable, and we will be together dealing with another class under the subphylum Vertebrata. So thank you, dear students. If you have a question, you can leave here in comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.